Hello and welcome back to the Sports Center YouTube channel. So on the eve of, dare I say, Man City's biggest game of the season so far, Carl?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they are 3-2 down against Real Madrid. Threw it away at the Etihad. I'm asking the question, if, it's a big if all the stars align, Man City don't go through in the Premier League against Madrid, which I think we've still got a chance,
Yeah, they've got a
and
chance.
and they don't qualify for the Champions League at the end of this season, does Pep Guardiola's job warrant to be on the line? I've,
Um,
I've got. I'll tell you what. Whilst you're thinking, let me bring. I won't say the facts, but just some stuff to the table. So, Real Madrid, kings of Europe. They've got this fucking tag now. They just find a way, and they do. But anytime, so a club at the standards of, let's say, Real Madrid, maybe even a PSG, they've been hunting down the Champions League. They've brought in every manager under the sun pretty much to bring them that.
I
And
know where you're going with this. You could put Chelsea in there as well.
yeah, Chelsea's another club. Basically, what I'm trying to say is big clubs, ambitious clubs, clubs that are who see themselves at the stature of the elite. If they don't win the Champions
Deal
League,
wins.
managers are gone. Real Madrid do not F about when it comes to getting rid of their managers.
You can win the Champions League and you can still be getting sacked
Correct.
at them clubs.
And just again, just let me finish up. So on Pep as well. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a Man City fan by any stretch of the imagination. And listen, before we go any further as well, I want to say, in my eyes, he is the greatest manager we've ever seen. I know Fergie's up there, but for me, he is.
Mm.
It's debatable in it, but I want to get it out there before everyone starts or people start moaning and watching. Oh, fucking Liverpool fan getting out of bed. Not at all. To me, I think he's probably the best ever. He's changed football. But I want to look also at his recruitment over the last few years. Because if you look at it, really, it's been poor. It's been really poor. And I'm going back now 3 years to when Erling Haaland came in. So they got Haaland, what, 55 million release clause, something like that, around those lines. And the other big strike, the other big signings for that season, Calvin Phillips, flop, dog shit.
Yeah.
Akanji, half decent signing, 20 million quid. You'd probably say he's worth that, and
Yeah.
he's probably worth double that now, maybe a little bit more. You'd say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but players they let go that season though, got rid of Sterling, Jesus, Zinchenko, Pedro Porro. I mean, to be fair, you could probably all warrant
Pedro
that.
Porro.
Yeah,
He were at City.
yeah, yeah.
Didn't know that.
No, I didn't until I read this. But I suppose you could warrant all the other ones. So Sterling, Jesus, and Zinchenko all leaving that's that season.
Yeah, it makes sense. They weren't
Yeah.
good enough. Still not good enough now.
So next season, 23-24, Guardiol, sorry, for 90 million euros. To me, it's not worth anywhere near that.
No, he's not. I mean, he's a decent player, but he's not 90 million quid's worth. He had
No.
a good Euros. What, Euros? Or he had a good tournament. What it Euros or World Cup?
A
Must
centre
have been
back,
Euros.
yeah. So playing centre back as well, and then Pep bought him, put him at left back.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Mateus Nunes from Wolves,
Flop.
circa to 55, 60 million.
Flop.
Very similar to Calvin Phillips in my eyes.
Yeah.
He had a decent season in the Premier League, and they snapped him up, and then they got Jeremy Doku for 60 million euros again, which
All right. He's probably not quite worth 60, but it's probably worth 50, maybe 45, 50.
no.
He's all right.
And then they also bought Kovacic as well from Chelsea for around 30. But the player this is for me where big standout, big questions should be asked to Pep. Players who let go: Julian Alvarez, Joao Cancelo, um, and Taylor Howard-Bellis. Which is, yeah, fair enough. I know he's gone to Southampton, but he's still a decent player. Um, they've also let go players like Cole Palmer, Riyad Mahrez, Emerick Laporte, to name a few as well, around about a similar sort of time in those couple of years.
Well, Mahrez for me is a big miss. They've never replaced him.
Yeah, yeah.
They've put Bernardo Silva out on that wing. He's not a winger. decent player, but not a winger. Don't bring a threat like Mahrez did. When there were Mahrez and Sterling on each wing, it was threatening. It were unbelievable.
And
Um,
I suppose my point I'm trying to make is there's better players have left City than have come in. I think the only ones you can maybe put a case for, yeah, fair enough, maybe Guardiola, um, Haaland, obvious one. But apart from that, I don't think any of them that have come in have really kind of pulling up
Lit the
trees,
place up.
and you can think there's probably better players have gone out like Cole Palmer, Mahrez, Alvarez. Some big play. Joao Cancelo, they're screaming, crying out for a right back, crying out for a right back.
Well, for me, they're crying out for fullbacks. He
Yeah,
plays with four centre backs,
yeah, yeah.
and I don't get that. I don't get it. I
And
don't like it.
and this is kind of my point. Is he trying to be too? We all know we've all seen him do his overthinking stuff at Champions League final against Chelsea. Playing players out of position, and John
Made
Stones
a mess of it
yeah, John Stones played in midfield. I think either this
against
week or not
Madrid.
weekend before. Yeah, oh yeah, that was it. Sorry, yeah, against Madrid. Just odd stuff, and the guy's a fucking genius. Let's go out and say it again. He's an absolute freak genius. But I suppose my question is, he's made a lot of bit mad decisions, and I would imagine he's been at City that long now. I think he got there in 2016. He probably has a big say on the players that are coming in and going out of that club.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
He's
just don't know. Just something's just not right there.
Well, to go back to your original question, I think any other club, it would be gone. Any other person, it would be gone. But because of him, like you, in your words, genius, best ever. I mean, I tend to disagree with the best ever, but that he's got that because of who he is.
Mm,
I do think he's got, and what he's won recently. I do think he's worthy of a bit of time for a rebuild because that City team squad does need a rebuild. There's a lot of say average. Average is probably a bit insulting, but there's a lot of players in there that not necessarily would get in Arsenal's team,
mm.
Liverpool's team. Whereas once upon a time, pretty much every City player would get in anyone's team, and that is not the case anymore.
Is one Champions League? Do you think enough? Do you think they should have won more?
Well, they should have won that one when like say against Chelsea, when
Chelsea,
he
yeah.
tinkered about and messed around. He should have won that one really.
Mm.
It's difficult. It's I suppose when you see Real Madrid winning back to back to back Champions Leagues, yeah, you probably think you probably should have.
Because
But that
arguably they've
is
got
a
the
hard
best. They've had the
competition
best squad for circa
ever.
5, 6 years. Easy,
Yeah,
best squad in Europe.
yeah, but it only take when it gets to knockout, it only takes one game to knock you out, doesn't it? And it's difficult.
It is. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think you look at. I can't remember exactly how long Fergie were at United. Like 20 plus years, maybe, was it? And did he win? I think he won two
Two,
Champions Leagues.
two
So Pep's got one in 9 years. So he's on
is
he's
about
on
on
that
par.
same kind of trajectory as Fergie. And you think Fergie's probably one of the managers that arguably is up for debate whether they're one and
Yeah.
two in the best ever. You could argue for both. So
Well, for me on that, just quickly, I would go Fergie's the best manager, Pep's the best coach. That's
yeah,
how I would label it. Because Fergie run Man United. He run the whole
yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything to do Man United. Well,
Mm.
that's how it's sent from the outside. Whereas Pep is, yeah, like you say, he'll have a big say on things that go on in the background, but he certainly doesn't run it. That's how I would differentiate the two. But again, like I say, it's open to debate. People disagree, but
So you think if
I think he's got time on his side. I think,
credit in the bank? I
yeah.
think I
But I
tend
do
to
think,
agree. I think I tend to
but I
agree.
do think if what if you say it doesn't happen, gets knocked out in this, tomorrow,
Yeah, yeah.
he doesn't get Champions League, and I think I don't know, maybe if he doesn't win, maybe the first out of the 5 games out of the first 10, if he doesn't win at least 5 out of the first 10
Next season.
next season, I think he could well be gone, and it wouldn't surprise me even walking. I can't see him sacking him. I think it'll be a mutual agreement. Look, I can't do anything with this. I'm going.
Yeah,
I'm burnt out, or some sort of shit excuse like that,
it
or
just seems.
something to
Yeah,
do with his relationship, or and some shit excuse will come out.
you just. Yeah, I mean, you'd have thought though, if anything like that were going to come about, he'd have probably left when his contract finished. Obviously, he signed a new deal, and if is it 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
So he's obviously committed to the thing. But I think I agree with you. I mean, I think managers
He
get
could,
chopped way too easy these days. To be
yeah,
fair.
he could even use the result of this 115 bullshit as an excuse to get out, if depending on what that outcome is.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably got a clause in his contract about
I mean, it
that.
probably does,
It
yeah.
wouldn't surprise me, to be fair, but
That's probably
that's
true.
we'll not get into that today. That's up for a whole other debate. Is that?
We'll chat that when we know more.
Yeah, yeah, sound. Suppose City fans, out to you. Let us know what do you think. I imagine every single one here would say the same thing, And the question we're asking is, if you get knocked out tomorrow night against Madrid, and if you don't qualify for the Champions League at the end of this season, are you sticking with Pep? Yes or no? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one. See you later.